Okay. Good evening, and I'm going to call the meeting to order for October 29th for the Oxnard City Council. I'm going to clerk roll call and posting of the agenda.
Councilmember Perillo.
Yes.
Councilmember Tehran.
Here.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald.
Here.
Mayor Zaragoza.
Here.
Councilmember Basua will be absent during this meeting. We have quorum. Posting of the agenda. The agenda for this meeting was posted in the City Hall Bulletin Board on October 17th, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do we have any speakers for item B, public comments on the closed side?
Mayor Zaragoza, we do not have any public speakers for closed session in person or virtually. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is item C, Mr. City Manager, Attorney, excuse me. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. The City Council will recess to a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, Subdivision D1, to confer with its attorneys. The matters being discussed are City of Oxnard versus Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency and people of the State of California versus Rastigar.
Thank you. So we're going to the closed session. We'll be back at 5 p.m. for the appointment items. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. We're back from closed session. Mr. City Attorney, any announcements out of closed session?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, there's one announcement. By a vote of 5-0, so that's all council members present, and noting again that council members Madrigal and Councilwoman Basua are absent at the moment. We're not participating in closed session. The City Council has given its legal counsel approval to seek appellate review or relief in City of Oxnard versus Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency regarding the partial denial of the city's motion to compel compliance with the trial court's order on writ of mandate concerning the GMA's groundwater allocation ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Our next item is an appointment item. This is the City Manager Department, Oxnard Convention and Visitors Bureau, OCVB, Annual Report. Excuse me, recommendation of City Council, receive and file the OCVC report. And we do have Brittany here. But Brittany, before we have a speaker, you want to hear the speaker first?
Sure.
Pat Brown?
Yes, I realize it's very windy out there, and our visitor and convention bureau people probably aren't here yet, but there's no place to park anyway. After I speak, I have to go and move my car because I'm in the parking lot by the library, and there's no place to park there.
Okay.
There's no place to park anywhere here. So that's a problem. But what I'm here for is representing the Aviation Museum at Camarillo Airport, hoping that the girls would be here so I could let them know that we would like to, as an invitation, we would like to have them come and go through the museum with all the World War II airplanes that are either in flying condition or that we are in the process of repairing. And fixing up, making better. So, and nobody gets paid there. It's all volunteer. And we'd love to have the public come. And if they were here, then I could let them know and give them a couple of flyers and let them know that they are welcome to come to the museum. Anytime we're open, they are welcome to come. And we'll spend a half an hour or a couple of hours. It depends on their time available. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, any other speakers, either virtually or here?
Mayor, we do not have any additional speakers for this item.
Okay, Brittany, you're up. And Mayor Pro Tem says he has to color his beard. Is that correct? Green?
Yeah, it's Teal the Show is what it's called.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us. Good evening, Mayor Zaragoza, Mayor Pro Tem, Oxnard City Council, and city staff. My name is Brittany Hendricks. I am the Vice President of Marketing and Communications with Oxnard Convention and Visitors Bureau, also known as Visit Oxnard. I've had the pleasure of working at Visit Oxnard for 6.5 years, and I'm speaking this evening on behalf of Visit Oxnard President and CEO Julie Buffo, who's sorry she can't be here in person, but she is here via video conference to answer any questions.
Okay.
We do have a presentation as well, if we can get that PowerPoint loaded, please.
Okay.
Here with me from the Visit Oxnard team is our digital and multicultural marketing manager, Daniel Cabrera.
Welcome, Daniel.
And not here tonight is Michelle Flippo, Nino Blunt, and Elizabeth Malgoza, but important parts of our team. Altogether, we're a very small but mighty and dedicated team, and we have passion for the city that we live and work in, and are extremely honored to share the story of Oxnard to potential and future visitors that in turn spend money in our community, improving our residents' quality of life. The Visit Oxnard team is proud to sit on 17 different boards and committees throughout our county, state, and nationwide. We have a seat at the table on very important industry conversations, and we're able to share all the great things Oxnard has to offer to our industry peers. Visit Oxnard is guided by an industry-led board of directors, including Mayor Pro Tem McDonald and Assistant City Manager Ashley Golden. We have a cross-section of industry leaders that represent hoteliers and tourism-serving businesses throughout Oxnard. Visit Oxnard is the community marketing agency committed to telling the city's integrated brand story, allowing for strengthened partnerships, driving new revenue, and enhancing Oxnard's overall vibrancy through powerful storytelling that unites our neighborhoods, businesses, and individual voice to bring our destination to life and give potential travelers the reason to visit Oxnard. Visit Oxnard models its tactics in line with industry standards, most closely mirroring the strategy set forth by Visit California. Envision the consumer journey from destination awareness to an actualized travel booking as a top-down funnel. As a destination marketing organization, our goal is to drive tourism at the higher funnel inspiration layer, keeping Oxnard top of mind among familiar travelers while inspiring consideration from new active travel intenders. Engagement KPIs like impressions, click-through rates, sessions, and time on site, all metrics listed in our annual report, all feed into the awareness funnel. This higher funnel drives interest, which feeds into the lower transaction funnel or conversion layer, which is what drives destination-specific bookings. Our mission is to drive tourism and overnight visitation by building awareness of Oxnard, improving the perception of Oxnard to residents and visitors, and growing our audience. These are high funnel top layer activities that inspire the transaction. We do this through owned, earned, and paid media, as well as trade show attendance and destination stewardship. I'll be walking through these items over the course of our report. Each year, our organization produces a forward-looking annual marketing plan that is our guiding star for our year ahead. The strategic framework within this plan outlines industry data detailing the travel landscape and provides a roadmap for navigating perceived challenges and how to capitalize on opportunities. Most importantly, the plan outlines the framework and approach OCVB will take to retain market share and attract visitors to Oxnard. Visit Oxnard works with and actively promotes 7 hotel partners with 1,161 rooms. Fiscal year 23-24 occupancy averaged 60.83%, and average daily rate was $169.34, the highest in Ventura County. OCVB's owned media consists of our website, social channels, and email marketing. Visit Oxnard.com is the central hub for our brand messaging and travel inspiration, serving as the anchor for all of OCVB's placed media. We continue to optimize existing web content and create new content too, to tell the story of Oxnard and encourage a deeper dive into our destination offerings, always with referral links to Oxnard's hospitality businesses. Due to increased costs for paid media, aka owned feature on the Visit Oxnard website, residents and visitors can check our live cam from Channel Islands Harbor to see whether the marine layer has burned off, making our site a go-to resource for those looking to enjoy outdoor recreation. We have a robust followership of over 77,000 across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and most recently, TikTok. The OCVB General Tourism e-newsletter has almost 11,000 e-subscribers with up to a 58% average open rate. Industry average is 34%. This e-newsletter is circulated at least bi-monthly to drive awareness to Oxnard's latest hospitality news, seasonal articles, and tourism business offerings. Now, let's walk through our earned media, which consists of influencer partnerships, relationships with media, which yield placements in print, online, radio, and broadcast coverage, plus awards and honors recognizing Visit Oxnard and the Oxnard community resulting from our efforts. OCVB compounds its social media reach by working with influencers. This past year, Visit Oxnard has worked with travel and foodie influencers, including the National Park Travelers, which are featured here at Anacapa Island aboard Oxnard's Channel Islands expeditions, the Chronic Explorer, featured here at Ed Hunt Accessible Trail at Alacoy Beach Park, Taste Made, Somos Cowboys, and Cowboys Can Fan, tapping into a cumulative audience of more than 7.6 million. OCVB's robust public relations strategy has, since July 1st, 2023, resulted in earned coverage with top outlets including cntraveler.com, afar.com, PureWow, AOL.com, TorontoStar.com, dmagazine.com, the OC Register, LA Daily News, LATimes.com, NBCLosAngeles.com, 10best.com, SheBuysTravel.com, PacificSurfliner.com, VisitCalifornia.com, Tri-County Century, Pasadena Magazine, Smart Meetings Magazine, VC Star, VC Reporter, and more. An earned media highlight, OCVB partnered with Ventura County Lodging Association and Visit California this past spring to showcase Oxnard on a familiarization tour to nearly 30 international journalists and tour operators at the conclusion of U.S. Travel's Travel and Tourism Trade Show, IPW, in Los Angeles. OCVB promoted Oxnard in broadcast and radio interviews, generating coverage on Good Morning America, KTLA 5 News, KEYT News, Spectrum News, KSBY, the Hotel Guide Travel Talk podcast, the Mambo in the Morning Show, the Super Cowboy Show, and more. Oxnard has amassed some impressive accolades this past year, including the #1 best beach in California at Alacoy Beach Park for the second year in a row by USA Today's 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards, #1 best new hotel in the United States at Zachary Dunes on Mandalay Beach, also by USA Today, and a designation of the Santa Barbara Channel as a whale heritage area by the World Cetacean Alliance. And now a brief overview of our paid media strategy, inspiring travelers via premium placements across top outlets in leveraged co-ops and via digital display ads. Today's media landscape is highly fractured, so to keep up with the ever-evolving landscape of digital media and all the ways someone consumes information, Visit Oxnard works with a media partner who is adept at assisting us to navigate this complex, granular environment with a media strategy that successfully communicates our brand message to our target consumer. Here you can see examples of how our banner ads show up across devices. Our branded ads ran in multiple formats with creative swapped to be timely for seasonal offerings. Our always-on omni-channel approach includes distribution via Google search engine marketing, Google video distribution, Google prospecting and responsive display, Facebook and Instagram cost per click and remarketing, and mobile fused precision geofencing. Cumulatively, this program resulted in 31.8 million brand impressions and 690,000 brand engagements. In addition to the digital marketing tactics noted above, OCVB participated in paid media placements, including display campaigns with Small Market Meetings, Seattle Met Magazine, dedicated e-marketing campaigns with Visit California, Pasadena Magazine and Orange Coast Magazine, a banner ad with All About Local Ventura County promoting the 2024 to 25 Visit Oxnard Visitor Guide, and a Pinterest campaign promoting the designation of the Santa Barbara Channel as a whale heritage area. OCVB ran print ads in Canada Travel Magazine, Dreamscapes, Pasadena Magazine, Orange Coast Magazine, Edible Magazine, VC Reporter, SoCal Life Magazine, San Diego Magazine, and the Hotel Guide. In conjunction with paid print ads, OCVB also earned a placement for Oxnard as the cover story for the summer 2024 edition of the Hotel Guide. Visit Oxnard is greatly involved in industry relations to leverage opportunities for co-op programming. Our co-op projects have been in partnership with Ventura County Lodging Association, Central Coast Tourism Council, Visit California, and Brand USA in publications like the California Central Coast Map, California Road Trips Guide, Visit California Visitor Magazine, and the Visit the USA magazine, all with global reach. Visit Oxnard is the liaison between City of Oxnard and the collection on LED billboard ad space at the collection. Visit Oxnard also contracts with Channel Islands Harbor and Clear Channel on static billboard space off Highway 101. See here some of our seasonal creative for outdoor ads we've placed, with up to 372,952 weekly impressions, with adults 18 and up driving by any one of our static placements. Visit Oxnard has a robust meetings and trade show calendar, putting us in front of thousands of leisure and business travelers. OCVB produces a meeting and event planning guide that details our hotel meeting spaces and off-site venues, encouraging meeting planners to book group events in our destination and extend their stay, driving additional revenue to our hospitality businesses and community. OCVB attended 10 group and leisure trade shows this past fiscal year, making connections with thousands of potential visitors and meeting planners. OCVB held appointments and promoted Oxnard at the following: Destinations California, Small and Boutique Meetings, NTA Travel Exchange, Cal SAE Seasonal Spectacular, Connect Marketplace, IPW, and 4 separate leisure trade shows with Travel and Adventure Show. OCVB attends group and leisure trade shows to connect with target segments that align with Oxnard's hotel offerings and generate business from qualified meeting planners and groups looking to book programs in Southern California and the Central Coast. OCVB accepted $1.5 million in ARPA funds to oversee destination marketing and management programs between fiscal years 21-22 and 22-23. Although the majority of these projects have concluded, OCVB continues to support the city with some ongoing projects. OCVB manages a promotional website at filmoxnard.com for Oxnard's film coordination and liaison efforts to attract major productions to Oxnard and drive economic activity. Here, location managers will find film application resources, information on past productions filmed in Oxnard, and listings for locations, base camps, parking, vendors, and more. Another ongoing project, which is actually agendized for bid awards this evening at 6 p.m. in coordination with Mayor Zaragoza's Gateway program, OCVB continues to serve in an advisory capacity for Oxnard's citywide wayfinding system, the design of which has been completed as the program heads into its installation phase with program administration and oversight by the city manager's office. This past summer, Oxnard hosted its 18th Dallas Cowboys training camp at River Ridge Playing Fields. And in July, Visit Oxnard hosted its 3rd annual Oxnard Fan Night in partnership with the collection, featuring performances and autograph signings by the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders an appearance by Cowboys mascot Rowdy, and autograph signings by Cowboys legend and Super Bowl champion Drew Pearson. This year, the Cowboys added Oxnard Fan Night to their official training camp schedule, and with the success of the Netflix docuseries America's Sweethearts, attendance to this event neared 6,000 guests, which is almost double any single day's attendance at training camp. Because the Cowboys are a global name and a huge draw for interest in tourism to Oxnard, OCVB invests in a robust marketing plan to grow its audience with this devoted fan base. OCVB partnered with the Cowboys in developing a comprehensive marketing plan to drive awareness and attendance from local drive markets and in key out-of-state markets alike, with the Cowboys developing creative assets on our behalf. Promotional tactics included live broadcast interviews on KTLA, KEYT, and Spectrum News, radio interviews on Q95.9 FM, outdoor advertising along Highway 101, targeted digital display and search engine marketing ads, print ads in the Dallas Cowboys yearbook, VC Reporter, and more. A robust social media calendar with supportive ad spend, Dallas Cowboys and Visit Oxnard co-branded promo merch, a training camp landing page at visitoxnard.com, daily VIP pass giveaways, and on-site activations. There are many exciting things on the horizon for Oxnard, including 4 new hotel properties coming online in the next 1 to 3 years, which will increase available hotel room inventory by 47%. Hot off the presses is our fiscal year 24-25 marketing plan, and you should all have a hard copy of this in front of you. In this document, we detail our plans to navigate market challenges, including a forecasted softening in consumer demand, with visitation growth plateauing industry-wide and increased competition for travel-related spending from nearby destinations. We also discuss our dedication as an organization to stewardship of economic development in support of attracting new businesses aimed at enhancing the hospitality sector and laying a sustainable foundation for growth. And of course, we outline the tactics and plans we have in place to accomplish our mission. Our view is that each consumer has a decision point in their journey to the transaction. In a competitive landscape where other destinations have growing budgets and are able to more effectively influence the consumer before they reach the transaction level, to retain market share, we need to insert ourselves into the conversation to effectively persuade visitation and drive conversions. I hope tonight's presentation has provided a glimpse into how Visit Oxnard is driving awareness of Oxnard, improving the perception of Oxnard to residents and visitors, and growing our audience. Thank you, Mayor Zaragoza and Oxnard City Council. Julie, Daniel, and I are available for any questions that you might have.
By the way, before I call on Julie, excellent presentation, by the way. It's really spectacular what you put together there, promoting Oxnard from one end of the state to the other and across the U.S. for that matter. But thank you for an excellent presentation. I looked over some of the photos before we came over today. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, Julie, do you have anything you might want to share with us?
Thank you, Mayor Zaragoza. Great job, Brittany. That was a wonderful recap of what Visit Oxnard does. And I guess I would just like to add how incredibly proud I am of my team and what we've been able to accomplish for the city of Oxnard and our hotel partners. As Brittany mentioned, we are working with a drastically smaller budget than our other DMO counterparts, yet with the talent on our team and the vendors we have aligned ourselves with, we are producing very high-end marketing materials, photography, videos, and we are positively improving the perception of Oxnard, attracting new and return visitors to the area, continually growing our STR numbers, and receiving awards for our work in the marketing space. I hope you on City Council all see and understand the value that Visit Oxnard brings to the City of Oxnard, and we look forward to continuing our partnership for many years to come.
Thank you, Julie. Very professional work. Dan, you want to share anything, anything else?
I'm just very happy to be with Visit Oxnard. I am born and raised here in the city of Oxnard to just see year by year the city improve, the perception and the quality, the events, and just the quality of what Oxnard is and bringing that to life and sharing that with visitors, especially with our cultural events like Dia de los Muertos, and being able to share that and being able to capitalize that because Oxnard is a very unique place to work, live, and play. So I'm a very proud Oxnard resident, very happy to be part of this team.
Thank you. That's a couple of us. We're natives here from Oxnard too. So, council members, any?
I was going to have you tell the panel what you do on your recreational side.
On for the city, or I'm sorry,
No.
the recreation.
Boxing, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Boxing. Oh, for the PAL boxing. Yeah, we've also put a very campaign for the PAL boxing. We partnered up with the Ventura County Lodging Association to promote the PAL tournament here in Oxnard. We got 2 local boxing clubs, and we kind of got them together, did some promotional shots as well as videos to kind of introduce them to the community because the boxing tournament was international. We wanted to spread the word to our international audience as well as our audiences here in Oxnard, and also get to know that their own local boxers are going to be competing internationally, and they were able to kind of get to know who the players were and everything about Oxnard through boxing.
And Terrell Harrison did a really good job with the international boxing tournaments that we had here in Oxnard. What we had, my understanding, I was just talking to him yesterday, we had some folks over from England, the Irish want to come over, and some other countries there too, so excellent program. Thank you. Council members, any other? Bert?
Thank you very much for the presentation. I'd like to address the public speaker that spoke. She has spoken many times about potentially giving a little shout out. Now, I want to share this to be fair and even-handed. Where she's talking about is outside of the limits of Oxnard. But in your pamphlet, we also advertise outside of the city limits of Oxnard, and on your map on page 31, we actually show Silver Strand is basically Oxnard, but it's not. It's in the county. So we're actually showing that, and the islands are another thing that we show which are outside of the city of Oxnard. I think we can benefit because you have an airport in Oxnard and you have an airport in Camarillo. The closest place, to my knowledge, someone will be able to go and see the World War planes, 2 planes that are stationed at Camarillo with all the volunteers and information, is Chino. That's a long drive, and it's also a hot area in the summertime. You could potentially bring some customers to your organization. The other is, I wish you could possibly consider highlighting Ormond Beach. It's a big plum. It's in the city of Oxnard. There is the environmental aspect of it. You might get some environmentalists, and I'm told environmentalists spend money when they go to see various things. That's an opportunity. The one question I do have, and I brought it up in the past because I get asked from people that come from the Central Valley during the summer, and they used to go to Pismo and run around the beach with dune buggies. We show a picture on page 16 of a truck on our beach. That's not allowed on City of Oxnard beaches, but it may be allowed in the county. Just double check, because I did get a call from a guy in Bakersfield. They won't let me put the truck on the beach, and he towed a truck down here. So just a tweak. The other thing is, there is an opportunity to highlight what's going on at the Channel Islands Harbor with respect to the recovery for the fish, the white sea bass. And it may not be a big deal, but in the environmental scheme of things, it's a huge thing. This week, Monday, they put in 5,000 fingerlings, and tomorrow at 11:15, they're gonna put another 5,000 fingerlings in to raise them up and to try to restore the fishing. Other than that, I appreciate it, and I do appreciate you mentioning all the radio stations, but on several occasions, I hear KCLU FM radio, NPR, talk about Oxnard and the visitors and various things, so maybe you weren't aware of that. Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I noticed at KTLA, I watch the news every morning before coming to work, so. Anybody else? Councilman Turan?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and the annual update. Big fan of all the stuff you all do, and thank you so much for all your work. Question, one thing you'd mentioned in the hotels that are coming online here in the near future, that there would be an increase of hotel space. You mentioned, I think, 40 some odd percent. Is that correct?
Yeah, 47%.
47%. All right. And so I would imagine these properties have done a market study to see what is the current or the average vacancy rate for hotels here in the city of Oxnard. What are the nearby cities looking like? And for through that, I'm imagining they had an objective reason for landing here in Oxnard. And I think that's great that we have that. But it also shows that there are folks who are coming here to visit who are in need of transit or transient occupancy, right? So looking at that, that's really encouraging to know that folks are coming here and visiting, and we have such a need that they see the viability in adding that many more units, where we have 47% increase in what we have now. So that's great to hear. So that's it. Just wanted to make that comment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany, and thank you so much, Julie. Thank you for an excellent presentation. I just love all those photos, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
More to come. Thank you for being in our past campaigns, Mayor.
Okay, so that's a receive and file. So our next item is the City Manager Department, presentation of the Community Action of Ventura County, CAVC. Recommendation of City Council receive an update on the CAVC services, including the Lower Income Household Water Assistance Program, LHWAP. And we have Alex, and would you like to introduce?
Hi, everyone. Well, good evening. My name is Susie Lopez Garcia. I am the Executive Director with Community Action of Ventura County.
Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for having us, for giving us this time to report out on what we've been up to, and also specifically on the LIWAP contract, which dealt directly with the city as well. So I also have a presentation. Hard to follow Visit Oxnard. I loved our visuals. So just to let you know a little bit more about us, Community Action of Ventura County, we do cover the whole county of Ventura. We do serve everyone that lives within the county, but again, today I'm presenting very specifically Oxnard numbers, Oxnard programs that we've been delivering. And so our mission statements, I'll start with that. Our mission is helping our community establish pathways out of poverty through advocacy, partnerships, and services that promote dignity and self-sufficiency. And I also want to point out that we have been around for almost 60 years. We're about to hit our 60 years next year. A lot of people haven't realized how long we've been around. We used to go by the name of the Commission on Human Concerns. Some people are also familiar with that. We are the same organization. We're also a nationwide organization. So we have sister agencies all through the US, including Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and we touch about 99% of the counties through the US. So what makes us unique? We do have a tripartite board structure. And what that means is our board is composed of three sectors. The first sector are elected officials. They are appointed by the Board of Supervisors. So each Board of Supervisor appoints someone onto our board. For the city of Oxnard, we actually have Councilmember Gabe Taran sitting on our Board of Directors. And so that gives us that range across the county, information across county as we're making decisions. The other sector is our low-income sector. And so what that means is either a community member who is of the low income or someone who works representing low-income communities. And so, for example, we have someone on our board from Cabrillo Economics. We have someone from Ventura County Continuum of Care. In the past, we've also had community members that may have been a client at some point. And the last sector is our private, and those are our community members from Ventura County, and they can be faith-based, business owners, public safety, different sectors, as long as they live in Ventura County. And so that really gives us that range again as we make decisions for community action. The other piece is we definitely depend on volunteer support. If you ever come visit us on a Thursday, you will see the amount of volunteers present in our warehouse. We do food distributions. We have many services where we do have a lot of need for volunteers. And the other piece is the maximum feasible participation. So we have had and have staff who have come through as clients who have used our services and then have come on to work for us. And also, again, that gives us that link to the community. They've experienced having to ask for services, come through our office, and now they're able to be staff and serve those that may be finding themselves in the same situation. Expanding our reach. So over the last 2 years, our main office is located at 621 Richmond Avenue. We've been there, I want to say, close to about 40 years in that location. But in the last 2 years, we did expand. So we did open a satellite office at the Free Clinic of Simi Valley in 2022. And then we opened a satellite office in Santa Paula in 2023. Both of those spaces are within other offices that are service providers. So we're in the same space with the Free Clinic. We're also in the same space with Big Brothers Big Sisters and other organizations, so we're able to make those referrals. In Santa Paula, we're with Poder Popular, Interface, again, food pantry that's run out of there. So again, we're able to serve community members and they don't have to be traveling around. Some of our strategic goals, we're listed the top 4 goals that we have that we're currently working on. 2 of the things I want to point out is number 2, strengthening our partnerships. So that is key for us. We don't want to ever duplicate services that are already out there. We want to learn who is also out there providing services and then connecting clients that come through, making those referrals. And number 4, making ourselves known throughout Ventura County. As I mentioned, we've been around almost 60 years. A lot of people don't realize that, or a lot of people only know of us if they've ever come in for services or have referred someone or our partners. So that's been really important for us to get the word out because we never know who we may be touching out there or who may need some support. And so just a quick list of our programs. We just wrapped up earlier in the year our water bill assistance, which was a LIWAP program. We also have a food hub, community market, community workshops, a Medi-Cal Enrollment Navigator program, home weatherization, home energy assistance, better known as HEAP, which provides utility assistance, and we also provide unsheltered services out of our Oxnard site. So LIWAP. LIWAP was the low-income home water assistance program that came out of COVID. And so it was a one-time grant that we received. It was a little bit over $1 million that was given to us to serve Ventura County. And so we made a little graph for you just so you can see out of all the cities, there's some missing on the graph, but those were some of the top cities that received most of the funding, residents received most of the funding. Oxnard being the top one, residents received a total of $550,000, and that was for about 614 households in Oxnard. And so the reason I'm here also is to give a huge thank to staff, city manager for working with us, because this program was a one-time, we hadn't had it before. When we do utility payments with gas and electricity, we only have Southern California Gas and Edison to work with. With the water covering all of Ventura County, we had to establish those connections with all the water districts, all the cities, everybody who is a provider for water. And if they hadn't signed on to work with us, we were not able to serve those residents, even if they lived in Ventura County. So the city of Oxnard was a great partner for us in getting that program out. We were able to provide some information on water bills, on the envelopes. We were able to have a table set up to give more information when people came in to make their payments, space to meet with them if they needed us, run some of the social media information. So we just really want to give thanks, and also working and connecting. So those people that were facing disconnection, if they were coming in on a Friday, facing that disconnection, if we ran them through, we see they were eligible, we were able to make that pledge to the city and say, the money's coming, the payment's coming, please work with us. and avoid the disconnection. So that was the biggest piece, avoiding disconnection with water bills for residents. So again, we served over 600 residents here in Oxnard. Utility payment assistance. So this program is ongoing. We are able to help pay either gas, electricity, or propane. It is one time per calendar year. It is income-based, so that's what we look at, as well as right now, because the need is still so high. We received so much extra money during COVID. We received ARPA money, we received CARES money, and we were able to help a lot of residents just based on income. Now all that money has dwindled down, the need is still there. So we're having to prioritize vulnerable household members. So those that have vulnerable household members to the top. And what that means is we're looking if someone in the home and kind of assigning points to kind of establish that. So if somebody in the home has a disability, if it's a household that has children under 5, if they're seniors over 60 or over 70 years old. And that's how we prioritize who we're helping with the funding that we have. We're wrapping up this year, so we'll receive additional funding this coming year. But so far, these are the numbers as of October. We have paid up to $615,000 just in payments, and that makes for about 893 utility payments that we've made. I didn't put households there because we had overlaying grants, so some were remaining funds from 2023 and 2024, so there may be some duplicate households. Most of the households that come to us, when I say one type per calendar year, are a lot of our seniors or people who are on fixed incomes. So those are usually the returning households we see every year, and we're able to help them pay either their gas or electricity bill. If they don't, sometimes they don't have to be past due, since we're able to help and put a credit into account, but the payment goes directly to the utility company. Our home weatherization program, so our utility assistance payment service makes the payment, you need to pay your utility bill. Our weatherization program, again, is income-based, but what weatherization is looking to do is they go into a home, do the intake, and then complete an assessment of the home. And what we're looking at is how to lower your utility bills. What appliances are in the home that we can replace? And so we can replace things from microwaves, stoves, washers, dryers. Case by case, we can do refrigerators. We also look at shower heads, light bulbs, water heater, furnaces. And so that's why there's an assessment done of the home. And not only are we looking at the appliances to like the year or are they energy efficient, we're running diagnostics and tests on those appliances in the home. They look at fireplaces, they look at the stoves to make sure there's no carbon monoxide leakage, that everything is working properly. And so that's kind of a picture you're seeing there. Our staff goes in to do the assessment of the home. I call it a work order that they put together, and then we do have subcontractors that do the actual work in replacing or weather stripping. And then our staff goes in at the end. We have an inspector that goes in to make sure everything was taken care of and installed properly. So we have weatherized so far this year 68 homes in Oxnard, which totals to about $309,000 into those homes. So when you do the math into that, a couple $1,000s can go into each home. People who are eligible are renters and homeowners. If they are renters, we take the income of the renters living in the home, but we do need approval of the homeowner to do this work. Reasons we may complete, they're eligible based on income, we complete the assessment. Reasons we may walk away from a home and not do any work is if there's any other safety issues going on in the home. Potential hoarding, pests in the home, or other work, patches, holes that our contractors can't go in and safely do the work. So that is our weatherization program. So we're looking more of the long-term solution for them. And just sharing a client success story. This is a resident more of Port Hueneme, but we were able to kind of look at everything she was eligible for when we had all the overlapping grants. And so she was able to get her home weatherized for almost $4,000. We replaced the heater in her home, which is a little over $7,000. We paid her gas bill, her electric bill, and her water bill. And so she was able to, now she's a senior living in her home. She was extremely thankful, able to use some of that money to purchase food, to pay other things she had that needed to be paid for. So that's how we always look at the clients, see if there's any other referrals or services we can overlay. Our unsheltered services. So many people also know us for one service or another. If you drive by 621 Richmond Avenue, where we're located, that is where we provide our unsheltered services. We focus on hygiene support, which is showers. We provide items for them to be able to take showers, laundry, clothing, and they also can come in for referrals for services. We don't provide services every day, but we are open Mondays and Fridays. We try to pick days where the One Stop is in Oxnard on Wednesdays, so we'll be open Monday and Fridays, and then referrals or mail pickup some other hours. So mail has been key for residents. They use us a lot to be able to receive mail. People that don't have secure or stable address, they're able to use us to receive mail there. And also we have formed a lot of partnerships. The Rescue Mission, we are their new lunch distribution location, so they no longer distribute lunch at the Rescue Mission during the week. They distribute at Community Action. They prepare the lunches, they get distributed at our site. We also have public health and behavioral health that show up almost on a weekly basis at our site. They're planning on bringing their mobile clinic as well to provide services out of our site. And our food program. This was our smallest program before COVID. We used to serve maybe 80 to 90 households. We are now serving an average of 300 households every Thursday. So if you ever drive by on a Thursday morning, I'm gonna warn you that you're gonna hit traffic on Richmond. We had to redo, when I said 80 to 90 before 2020, people were able to park their cars at 1:30, pick up food. We had a community market, so they'd walk through the tables, pick up what they kind of needed. Because of COVID, we had to redo all that. It is a drive-through. Many thanks to PDs, City Corps. We had a lot of people involved at the beginning of 2020 to figure out that route of cars, because the first time we did it, we were blocking 5th Street. So I was getting those calls. PD came out to help us out and figure out a route. So we do have people lined up. I want to say beginning around 7 in the morning, we start distributing at 8:30. The line gets moving. And when I say we need a lot of volunteers, that's the day you will see the top picture is our warehouse. And so that's the setup every Thursday. The rows of food, people are packing up the boxes of food. We include a lot of fresh produce. When we can, we will have meat, along with your staples of cereal, canned food as well. A lot of those things are done with partnerships with Food Share as well as with Food Forward. And so another partnership that came out during COVID, Food Forward was looking for a site to distribute produce to other local pantries in Ventura County, and we became that site. So every other Tuesday, our back parking lot, which is the bottom picture, receives about 20 pallets of fresh produce in our back parking lot at about between 7 and 7:30 in the morning. Our staff kind of takes inventory about what we received, and we have a list currently of 29 local food pantries in Ventura County that come through and pick up produce for their distribution. Out of those 29, 17 of those are here in Oxnard, so they're local pantries that pick up from us. And then on Wednesdays, we collaborate with 211 and Amazon delivers boxes of food to people that are unable to get to us. And usually that's a lot of people either with a disability or seniors. And so about 70 boxes of food go out on Wednesday in addition to the Thursday to households and are delivered there. So the number you see there, over almost 3,500 households in Oxnard have been served to date in 2024. Did I go the other way? In our community workshops, we've been focusing on financial literacy and mental wellness. So we form partnerships with other service providers to host those cohorts. We also partner with Chase Bank and Ventura County Credit Union to run a lot of those workshops. We've done some broadband work as well with digital literacy. And so we're forming groups to be able to present. Mental wellness was a big need that came out of COVID. So what we're doing is starting that initial talk conversation and then referring them for services. And the latest thing we're working on, Food Share has secured funding to distribute diapers and baby wipes. And being one of the food pantries that serves under them, we took on the diapers. We had our first distribution the first week of October. It became a little out of hand, the first distribution. It was first week that a lot of partners distributed out. We had to turn away people, and at the end, we counted, we had over 160 children that received diapers and wipes between 1 and 3 p.m. that first Wednesday. So we're now going to be doing second and fourth Wednesday of the month that we will be distributing. Those numbers will get smaller only because they can only pick up once a month. So initially, at the beginning of the month, we get the majority of people coming through. And the last one is Gold Coast Health Plan partnered with us. We have a grant under them to do Medi-Cal navigation programs. So we were helping with renewals. We're now focusing more on services and benefits, referring people to the screenings, preventative care. And so most of our staff, if you see them out at events, it's a lot of our outreach coordinators from our Medi-Cal program that you'll see around. And that's about it, but
I want
thank
to
you so
thank you,
much.
thank you so much. Community Action Program has done a lot of good work, for the community. I know I went and visited there several times, and you just do excellent work, helping the community and seniors and the unhoused individuals too, which I want to thank you, Mrs. Lopez, for the good work that you do for the community. Council members, anything else? You want to share anything else? Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you for providing the information. I hope that the public who are here tonight and watching can see just the comprehensive services that Community Action offers all across the county, but also within the city of Oxnard. And I will say, as Ms. Lopez mentioned, I do serve on their board. And when I was approached to potentially serve on the board, I wasn't particularly looking for another commitment. But when it was explained to me a little bit more about what Community Action did, I had a conversation with the late Supervisor Ramirez about it, and she certainly felt that it was a good fit based on my own professional experience and personal experiences. And I think it's been an honor to serve, and I thank you very much for everything that you and your team do for Oxnard and for the county of Ventura. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a received file. Councilor Perrello?
A couple of questions. Thank you very much for a lot of information. One specific question, when you were showing the people that had improved their homes and you had helped them, are those owned homes or are those rental units?
Either. So if it's a homeowner, it's easy process because they're a homeowner. If they're a renter, we have to have approval of the homeowner to be able to go into the home. But we take the income of the people living there, so the renter's income, not the homeowner's income.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a received file. Thank you, Mrs. Lopez.
All right.
Excellent
Thank you.
presentation.
Appreciate it.
Any speakers on this item? Madam Clerk?
Mayor Zaragoza, there's no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you. I know we have a couple of items that we have to take care of, ceremonial items, like, for example, the veterans and also the sister city. But we'd like to bear with us. We have Assemblymember Jackie Irwin that wants to make her presentation. So we're going to move over to M1, and then we'll go from there. So, and this is a public works item, public project agreement 325000182 with Security Paving Company Incorporated for the Rice Avenue, 5th Street, State Route 134 grade separation project, PW 1847. Recommendation the City Council approve a total of $80,349,567.20 in project funds for the Rice Avenue, 5th Street Route 34 grade separation project. Specification number PW 18-47. And two, that the mayor to execute an agreement with Security Paving Incorporated for the amount of $76,523,397.20 and the project contingency amount of $3,826,170, at 5% with Security Paving and Incorporated for a total not to exceed $80,349,567.20 for the project. This item did not originate in committee, and so this is a capital item. This was approved by the program budget, previously approved by the city council. And this is a pre-recorded item per Measure M. And we have Jackie Irwin, our assembly member. Go ahead.
Well,
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back in Oxnard. Thank you, Mayor Zaragoza and council members, for the city manager for the invitation to be here tonight. In my office in Sacramento, I have a newspaper article that's framed from the first press conference we put on for this Rice Avenue project. It was with Governor Jerry Brown, and the date on the newspaper is May 23rd, 2018. So the award of this contract is a major milestone, but it's also a lesson in this community's persistence. Rice Avenue has been one of the top 2 or 3 most dangerous at-grade rail crossings in the state for better than a decade. We unfortunately have seen this play out with 3 deaths involving train and automobile accidents, including multiple injuries from the resulting train derailments. This project literally will save lives. Further, it will make our community cleaner by reducing the amount of time that cars and trucks are idling and waiting for the trains to pass. The Rice Avenue grade separation is a winner for Oxnard and a winner for Ventura County as a whole. And I want to thank all the people who worked so hard to get to the project to this point. This includes your city, Ventura County, VCTC, and Caltrans District 7. I'm looking forward to celebrating in the near future by sinking a shovel into the ground to officially kick off the construction. Thank you again for the invitation to be here this evening.
Thank you, and Assembly Member. Not only have you helped us with a flyover there, but also for additional millions of dollars for our wastewater plant before that. So you continue to help us. We really appreciate it tremendously. And do we have VCTC here with us?
Thank you, Mayor Zaragoza, members of the council, Mayor Pro Tem Brian McDonald, City Manager Wynn. I'm Martin Erickson, Executive Director of the Ventura County Transportation Commission. It's an honor to be back in Oxnard tonight also, seeing so many friendly faces and to celebrate this really amazing project that it's taken a little time, but I think it is really illustrative of the partnership of Ventura County agencies working together. The City of Oxnard, of course, the help from Assemblymember Irwin, Caltrans, and my team at VCTC. And I also want to acknowledge Mayor Pro Tem McDonald for his service on the VCTC board for many, many years. And Mayor Zaragoza, you also served on VCTC, I believe during the time that Assemblymember Irwin first.
12 years.
12 years, so we covered a lot of area, but this project again illustrates Ventura County working together to get a critical safety project completed, and it's also part of the port intermodal corridor, that connection point between the Rice Avenue interchange all the way down to the port, a critical interchange that is going to be made much safer for the Amtrak trains, the Metrolink trains, the freight trains, and of course, the passengers driving there. Also want to recognize the City of Oxnard staff, great partners with us, and thank you all again.
Thank you, thank you. Michael, any additional comments on this item?
My only one comment is that I would like to thank our project manager, Debbie O'Leary, who's in the audience. Without her, this project wouldn't have gotten here. So we're here to answer any questions on the staff report. Council
members, any questions on this item? Assembly member, go ahead, Bert.
I'd like to thank all involved, but I would specifically like to thank Assemblyman Jackie Irwin. She and I have had conversations over the time, but her ability to make things happen and her willingness to go the extra yard. A lot of people use that phrase for a lot of elected officials. This one I can vouch for. Thank you very much, Mr. Irwin.
And I just want to thank you too, because I remember when we had that major accident, there were several years ago. I was a supervisor at the time, and we had that accident that, in fact, we had CNN come over. There was such a catastrophic thing that happened there, that one gentleman, that went into their road, and we lost, I think, one of the train folks too, so Irwin, Jackie, good work. Thank you so much for being here today, and my apologies for the rest of the folks we had around first. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. I just want to thank Jackie Irwin for all your support. You've been a great benefactor to the city of Oxnard, and I'm probably going to embarrass someone sitting behind you, but I want to call out your chief of staff in Ventura County, Nancy Frawley, who's always been a good go-to person also when the assembly member is not available.
Yeah, that's right.
Nancy fills in quite well for her. So thank you to both of you.
Councilmember Turan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This certainly predates me by a number of years as far as being on the council, but I've certainly followed it, and I just want to echo what my colleagues have said in giving thanks to you and your office and all the work that's happened, including all the moving parts that happened with the other agencies involved in this. When I came on board, I know we had a number of items that have come over time on it, and I always feel like we're inching closer and closer and closer, and we're getting there. And so I just appreciate all the work that's been put into this on our side and on everybody who's had a hand in this. So again, thank you very much for your support, and thank you to the staff who've all had a hand in this.
And thank you for making time. I know you're busy, and that's why we wanted to get you right here. Oh, excuse me, Valenzuela?
Yes, Assemblymember Irwin, thank you very much. Thank you to your staff and, working so gradually and cordially with our city staff and VCTC to make this possible to improve the safety in our community. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you again for being here. I know you're very busy, and thank you for your time. So we need a motion for this item.
Mr. Mayor, I'd move the recommended action.
Excuse me, Mayor Zaragoza.
Speakers?
There are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
I wanted to ask that, but you beat me to it. Thank you. Thank you, Assembly Member. Okay, we got a first by, thank you so much. We got a first by Mayor Pro Tem, second by Councilor Perello. Roll call.
Councilmember Perello?
Yes.
Councilmember Turan?
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald?
Aye.
Mayor Zaragoza?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you again. That's a lot of money, 84 million bucks. Thank you so much. One more time. We normally don't clap, but we deserve it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our next item then is, this is a ceremonial item. This is, we're going to have we have our Mayor Pro Tem help us with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand for the pledge.
Place your hand over your heart and join me in saluting the flag of our nation by saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so we have our next item is a presentation, a proclamation designating November 11th as 2024 Veterans Day, and we have, I think we have, let me see, a couple of veterans here. We have Sal Gonzalez and Manuel Gonzalez, and the veterans, can you please come up?
This is for items not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
Items not on the agenda.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sal, how you doing, Sal? You're good. How you doing? Seeing you, Mayor. How you doing?
Young man,
What's that?
let me give you 5.
Huh?
I'm gonna give you shake hands.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is a proclamation, Veterans Day, November 11, 2024. Whereas Veterans Day has its origin in November 11, 1918, as armistice, we brought the World War I to a conclusion. The Allied victory of World War I affirmed the strength of a great nation, acting together for a high purposes. Whereas the people of the United States caused through their elected representatives, designating November 11 as a federal legal holiday, which in 1954 became officially known as Veterans Day. Whereas Veterans Day continues to be celebrated and commemorated in a solemn observance in the honor of Americans who have served our country's armed forces, where Veterans Day has become a significant part of the American heritage. We recognize that millions of citizens whose military services has a profound effect and history on our nation. Whereas courage, honor, sacrifice, and dedication, which veterans of the United States Armed Forces have displayed in the cause of justice, freedom, and democracy, are the most worthy of recognition. Now therefore, I, John C. Zaragoza, Mayor of the City of Oxnard, proclaim and commend the American veterans observance on Monday, November the 11th, Veterans Day, and ask that they be observed and honor those who have served to preserve the principles and also the justice and freedom and democracy here in the United States of America. Sal?
Well, thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. It's always a pleasure to come and then get this recognition. Sir, thank you. Okay, so we're pleased to be here. We remind you that on Veterans Day we'll have a ceremony at Plaza Park at 11 o'clock, but there's also going to be a parade starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you're all welcome either to be part of it or to observe the parade and to honor the veterans who are going to be there. So we always look around to see who's there to support us. Okay, we do keep count. Okay, so we would be happy to see you there. I know the members of the city council will probably all be there, and so many other people are going to be there. So we're grateful for the support that we have gotten, especially from the mayor and some of the city staff that have been with us putting this event together and putting on a good program that will be of service to the veterans and recognize their service to our country. So thank you all for listening to us. Okay, fellow veterans, anything else you?
Out and join us and for Veterans Day. Like Sal said, there'll be a parade. Myself, I am the chaplain for disabled American veterans, and I'm also the chaplain for Vietnam veterans of Ventura County. And I'd just like you to come out and share. There's going to be kiosks there with information for all the veterans out there, and just come out and enjoy the parade and enjoy the day.
Just thank you.
I want to thank you to the committee that, one of the committee members that are not here today. I don't see Luli Lopez here. She's one of the chair of the committee. We also have Martha Guillen, my assistant, that's also on the committee, and then Manny, is he here? Gonzalez? Is Manny Gonzalez here? He's ill today, but anyway, and Helen, also his wife. So I want to thank the committee. We've been doing this year after year after year. And Sal, you've been the MC for many, many years, and thank you again. So put your hands together for the veterans together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll see you for the parade. The parade's going to start at 9 o'clock right in front of City Hall. Thank you so much. Okay, our next presentation is a presentation from our sister city, and we have Dorina. And all the committee guys want to come up here? The Dodgers winning. I see you have Dodger blue. Are we doing okay? No, we're losing. Oh, 2-1? Whose favor? 5-2. Dodgers? So, mija, thank you. Hi, mija. Thank you, mija. ¿Cómo estás? Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. Priscilla, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien.
How come you bring Andres with you? Andres, come on.
I'll take pictures.
How you doing? Guy right here.
That's Chloe.
Chloe, okay. Okay, Dorina, you.
Actually, Mayor, I'm going to defer to my president, Melissa.
Melissa, the boss.
The boss.
Okay.
We bring these gifts from Ocotlán, Mexico on our visitation. Our 60th year visitation of Ocotlán in August. Welcome. And the mayor of Ocotlán would like to present to you This is a recuerdo de Ocotlán from their city to our city.
Mayor Pro Tem, this one. Oh, my goodness, it's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, and I'll just reiterate, so we've been, had this long-standing relationship for the last 60 years, and it was our pleasure to join them one additional time there in their city for the 60th anniversary. I will say that the city is very appreciative of all the help and efforts that have been put forth by the city of Oxnard in increasing their public safety. Over the years, several fire trucks have been donated, several safety equipment that has been critical to their ability to provide safety services to their residents. And I'm happy to say that just recently, the County of Ventura has also contributed 10 full uniforms to be delivered to the city. So again, I definitely want to thank the city of Oxnard as well as the County of Ventura for increasing the safety of the residents of Ocotlan, but in doing so, also increasing the safety of many of the residents here who often travel there during the holidays, who have families that live in Jamay, La Barca, Ocotlan, Guadalajara. So a lot of the services that have, or the equipment that has been donated there has also increased the safety of our fellow residents here in the county. So I do want to make that point. Any other members?
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Just, I'm sorry. Just to let everybody know that we're in the process of sending over 500 pounds of safety equipment to the city of Ocotlán. So we're in the middle of getting that transported through the services of DHL. So again, we thank the county for helping us. It's uniforms, radios, all kinds of safety equipment for their firemen. And they're very, very appreciative.
And I believe we're in talks with the city to hopefully get some additional equipment. So again, it's a long-standing partnership, relationship, I think that has been to the benefit of both communities. Inadvertently, the safety there as well as our residents here who travel often there to those cities. So again, la unión hace la fuerza. We're going to keep on hopefully providing those benefits to both communities.
When you said the city's going to help, the city manager went like this. So that means, okay. The sister city's been in existence, what, 60-some years? 60 years. I remember when Dr. Lopez was one of the founders of that, and I remember really joining him many times. I know one year that he was gone, that I had, I think the mayor stayed at my house, and my wife and him, his wife, and my wife went shopping every single day. So, but they had a blast. But I know the last year when they came over, we had a great time. I want to thank Sal. Is Sal still here? Sal Gonzalez. The Knights of Columbus, gave us a nice dinner, and then we all went over to the Tower Club and had a great time. And also, one of the things that Doreen, I want to share is that we have a bottle of tequila there in my office. It's been there for 200 years. When are we going to open that?
Mayor, whenever you'd like, I'd be more than happy.
And I don't drink, but I know the bottle is there anyway, so it's probably...
That's now city property.
It's still city property. So
If the Dodgers win today, we might be able to have to change.
What was the score again?
5-2. Dodgers were losing.
What inning?
It was the third.
Third inning? 5-2 Dodgers, third inning? Oh, New York. Oh, my God. Well, I didn't want to share that. Anyway, thank you so much to the Sister City. Thank you to all the work that you guys do, which is really fantastic. Having a Sister City is really important, and helping them out, and they help us too, which I think is really important. I know that Andres and Priscilla has been there for 200 years. Close to it. And the rest of you, thank you so much, Debbie, and the rest of you folks. Mija? You want to introduce themselves?
Melissa Garcia, President.
Dorina Padilla, Vice President.
And I'm Margaret Herrera, and and I've been in this beautiful committee for 1 year, and it was just an amazing time that we had there.
Deborah Cordes, Treasurer.
Priscilla Herrera, both Andres and I have been members since 1991.
Andres Herrera.
This is my husband, Bruce Back, his service dog, Chloe, and I'm Carol Flores Back. And again, we are so excited to have our sister city members coming this next summer. So hopefully many of you will be able to join us. And if you'd like to join our committee, you're all more than welcome.
I'm going to keep this. Is that okay?
On that note, we're having a fundraiser at Hook on November the 4th. So if any of you would like to join us, it's on Monday, November the 4th from 4 to 9 p.m. at Hook. Thank you. November 4th on Monday, November 4th at Hook Burger, and it's from 4 to 9 p.m.
So yeah, just mention sister cities.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, Dorina was a past council member, and Mayor Pro Tem Andres was with the council for how many years?
Quite a few.
Too many. Well, 12 years. Put your hands together for the sister city. Thank you so much, and thank you for the gifts. It's really important. Thank you, Dorina. Okay, this is for the fundraiser. Thank you, man. Madam Clerk, do we have any additional speakers for for the sister city?
Mayor Zaragoza, no, we don't.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you so much to the Sister City Committee for being here today, and it's really great. Thank you so much again. Have a good evening. Okay, our next item is item G. This is public comments not on the agenda, and that we have a couple of people like to speak. We start off with Alfred Flores. Alfred Flores, followed by Steve Nash. And, go ahead. You can push it down.
Okay.
There we go.
A little short, okay. Okay. Good evening, City Council members, Mayor, Pro Temp, Mayor, and guests. My name is Alfred Flores. I'm employed with the City of Oxnard Public Works Department Wastewater Treatment. We are here today as a result of ongoing issues with compensation, recruitment, and retention. Since negotiations 2022, attempts have been made to address these issues. We have met with city officials, HR, local management, and union representation, all in an effort to correct the class and compensation data with regards to wastewater treatment operators. I do not have enough time at this forum to speak on all the meetings, emails, phone conversations, which have transpired in the almost 3 years, which I've been personally involved with. I will try to provide a basic understanding of the situation which has brought us here today. The release of the 2022 class and compensation study was greatly anticipated by the employees in our department. They were hopeful it would help address some of the issues which have negatively affected our plant. Thus, going into the 2022 negotiations was viewed with positivity and hopefulness. This study would provide a clear and concise compensation range that would alleviate some of the issues that we've been facing for years. We were assured by city representation that there would be a pathway to address our concerns and the flexibility to make corrections to the class and comp study. They informed us that separate meetings would take place so any department could address their specific issues and concerns. Since June 29, 2022, we've received mixed messages. But on April 23, 2024, a salary change was proposed and passed, which was a step in the right direction, which we all appreciated. Our concerns about these issues were raised at the appropriate time. All relative data was provided. We attended meetings with HR, our local management, and our union representation. But here we are shouldering this burden. Where is our work-life balance? Year after year, we go through these same issues. We have become the training ground for the surrounding cities and beyond. Continuing this non-competitive salary with the surrounding cities only ensures that this trend will continue to hurt the future of Oxnard wastewater treatment. We will continue to see qualified local talent leave for more competitive salaries. Those that stay will continue this revolving door of employees that we pay to hire, train, and invest support, only to see them leave to one of the surrounding cities or counties for a more competitive compensation package. Somewhere through this process, our voice has been lost. So I ask on behalf of myself and my co-workers that the City Council make an inquiry into this matter so we can move forward to find a solution. We would like to return next month and possibly provide a follow-up of any progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Steve Nash, followed by Alfred Cepeda. Steve. Thank you, guys. Steve Nash.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, staff. Most important thing first, Freddie Freeman is a baseball god, at least in Dodger land, so go Dodgers. Okay, I'm Steve Nash. I'm running for the Division 4 seat on the United Water Conservation District Board of Directors. This is the last meeting, obviously, before the election. 1 week to go, thank goodness. So I just want to say how deeply honored and humbled I've been to have the endorsement of Mayor Zaragoza, Councilman Tehran, Councilmember Madrigal, Councilmember Basua, Councilmember Perello, Councilmember Valenzuela, and also our County Supervisor, Vianney Lopez. That means a lot. Some people say endorsements don't matter. I think they do, especially when they come from people of such high integrity and honor. So I just want to touch on one subject tonight, and that involves our pocketbooks. I think that, at least it's obvious to me, Oxnard has been paying an unfair rate for the water it receives from United. And until we get a cost of service analysis that is robust, comprehensible, and transparent, we'll really never know. And until we do know, we're paying literally, each year millions of dollars more than perhaps we should because of an unfair rate structure that benefits agriculture. And I have nothing against agriculture, but we need to have a transparent process. If we want to subsidize agriculture, then we should have a vote on it and make it official. So anyway, I respectfully ask for your vote November 5th. Visit my website, www.nashforwater.com, and everybody please come out and vote. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you. Alfred Cepeda.
Hello, my name is Alfred Cepeda. I'm a wastewater operator for the city of Oxnard. I'm a long timer. I've worked there 13 years. We're grateful for our jobs. It's unusual for us to kind of come up here. We didn't know that we could do this. Just to kind of spread the awareness that there's like a disconnect with the pay. And so the productivity, let's say in the last 6 years since we had new management is really high, and they have the documentation to show what that productivity is. But let's say a good fraction of that is training new people. And I live in Thousand Oaks, and there I get a rate increase, small rate increase in my sewage bill and so forth. And so I think you guys are trying to adopt some of that. Having said that, the HR is spending a lot of time bringing in new people, and it's just a revolving door over and over again where we can be working on higher level tasks. Right now we got the CIP projects going, and they require support. We had a pipe breakage today. You can inquire about that. You can talk to us offline if you want. But what I can tell you is that it's a rewarding place, and all you got to do is look at the size of the division or the municipality that you are. We happen to be large, and so what places like East Bay Mud in Oakland does, we're clearly not that size. We're not like Hyperion. What they do is they attract people by paying them more, because who wants to be commuting to LAX? I can tell you that in the last 6 years or so that I've seen people kind of come in, not one person that's come in has actually said, you know what, I'm going to find my fiance here in this city and move over. And that's really like a negative selling factor that we have, because we're a 24/7 operation. So what I would recommend, I can do more details offline, is just double the nighttime differential pay for the people. And maybe you get some of us more experienced folks, go ahead and work the night shift. And then management, our good management is now actually contemplating doing 10-hour shifts and running a skeleton crew in the middle of the night because we have a better place, because we have backup generators and so forth. So, they think they can go ahead and satisfy our constituents, which is basically the 200,000 people and all the businesses that depend on this plant, plus the receiving waters that we safeguard. It's not a business. Just look at what other municipalities do. Talk to us offline. My colleagues have the data.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, any of the speakers, either virtually or here?
Mayor Zaragoza, there's no additional speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you. Okay, our next item is item H. This is a report to the city manager. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to load up the slide deck. Just to be clear, I'm not listening to the game. I'm using the Apple hearing aids. Good news is they work. The bad news is I can hear almost every conversation in the room, which is really strange. All right, Day of the Dead. We have a couple of city-sponsored events coming up this weekend. So this first one here on the screen is an event at the Carnegie Building, and it will be taking place from November 1st through November 3rd. And it will be the altar on the steps and some other activity. But on Saturday the 2nd, there's also going to be an event, a Day of the Dead event at the main library. That'll be throughout the day that the library is open this Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. through to 5 p.m. at the downtown main library. Next quick announcement is the next such event of the free Del Norte drop-off days. And you can see the information here. That will be also on Saturday. And it'll be open starting at 8 a.m. through 2 p.m. So this is where our residents can dispose of their bulky items, trash, and unwanted items for free. So there's a few caveats in terms of the kind of items. So what you can do is go online and check that out. You can also call 805-385-8060. Now, it is for Oxnard residents, so you must come with either a copy of your utility bill or your ID showing that you reside here in the city of Oxnard. So there you go. It's another free drop-off day event, so you can clear out your dwelling, getting ready for the holidays so you can get more stuff and have some place to store it. Okay. Finally, of course, I think we're reaching near exhaustion on the national level, but next Tuesday is Election Day. There is a lot of information, and so that I don't risk misstating something, the key information to find out about the locations that you can vote now, as well as over the next several days up until November 5th, you should contact the county. And there are two ways to do that. One is on the website, and it is venturavote.org. Or you can call the county elections office, which their phone number is up here on the screen, 805-654-2664. If you want to inquire about the locations where you can vote, on which days and which hours, as well as what locations are open for in-person voting on Election Day. But also, if you have your ballot, there are also locations where you can drop off your ballots, there are ballot boxes. So I just want to repeat that in terms of finding detailed information online. It's at venturavote.org. Or you can call the county election office at 805-654-2664. And I believe that concludes the announcements for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, any speakers on this item, either virtually or here?
I have a question.
Okay.
City Manager, is there any update on the building that caught fire on Oxnard Boulevard. I see equipment working there. Is there anything you could share with the public?
I do not have an update. I don't know if our chief does.
We don't have the fire chief.
No, I do not have a live update right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So any speakers?
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers for this item.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Our next item is item I. This is a time and place for the city council to make some brief comments on or presentations on items that they wish to announce, and also that if they have any future agenda items they'd like to see in the agenda. It was council members, 3 minutes. We'll start off with Councilmember Duran.
Thank you. All right, thank you, Mayor. First, want to let everybody know that my council colleagues, they do enjoy my company. I'm sitting so far away because this is my assigned seat, and there are 2 council members absent this evening. So if it looks like I've been put into a corner or that I've not wanted to be heard from tonight, that's not the case. So I just wanted to very briefly update. I attended the South Bank Neighborhood Council meeting. I know the Mayor Pro Tem and Councilor Perillo were there as well. And I want to thank the Neighborhood Council. They had a great turnout and had some great updates on traffic engineering from our folks with Public Works with traffic. And there were a number of things that the Neighborhood Council brought up that were important items that the Neighborhood Council brought forward and staff brought back to investigate. So that's the way that system works, and I appreciate that. And we also had, since our last meeting, I believe we had the River Park Neighborhood Council meeting prior to that. So I just want to thank the River Park Neighborhood Council for hosting that meeting as well, and an additional forum for the residents to hear about the ballot measures facing the River Park residents. And thanks again to all of those who turned out, as well as the other folks who were on the agenda, such as their beat coordinator, Corporal Jack Martin. And just today, I attended the groundbreaking for Marina West for a new wing of classrooms that will be built for students in transitional kindergarten, pre-K, and kindergarten. And I believe they said that a couple dozen classrooms, or maybe a dozen classrooms, on that. And I just loved seeing it. They had, I know Mayor Pro Tem was there as well, but we had sitting behind us a couple rows of kindergartners and first graders. And to hear the superintendent giving her remarks and saying some very important things for those students to all hear. And they were doing a great job at paying attention. And at the same time, I had 2 students behind me, one saying, "I like your shoes. Do you like my shoes?" And so that was entertaining as well. And I just appreciate the Oxnard School District for inviting us and for the work that's moving forward with within their district. And lastly, as Mr. Nash had mentioned in his comment, this is our last meeting prior to the election. And I just would like to remind folks that, being able to vote is certainly a privilege that many people have and many people do not. And I hope that regardless of where you fall on any of the issues, any of the measures, any of the propositions, any of the candidates, that you utilize that privilege that you have if you are able to do so, and use your vote to speak for how you would like to see your local, your state, and your national government run. And please don't take that for granted, because many do not have that privilege within our own country, let alone in other nations. And I wasn't sure if Councilmember Madrigal would show up by this point in the meeting or not, but I will give a shout out for an Instagram post that he had shared in the last few days, where it was a picture of his father filling out his ballot, and his father just became a U.S. citizen, and it was his first ever election that he was able to vote in. I assume he voted for Oscar, so but it's a reminder that many people live here and contribute so much in our community, in our nation, but do not get to have a say like many of us do. So please don't take it for granted. If you're able to vote, please do so. And those are my comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Just more of a public safety item. We are coming up on Halloween. I think there's going to be a lot more trick-or-treaters out this year than there have been in past years. My neighborhood, I think we will probably see between 800 and 1,000 trick-or-treaters. So I would just ask everyone to drive slow and safe and be cautious. Sometimes when kids are faced with the opportunity to get candy, they throw caution to the wind and may dart out in front of you, so be safe. And the only other thing I have to say is I've been on the Convention and Visitors Bureau board for many years now, and it's been a pleasure working with Brittany, and I've always teased her to a degree about, gee, if you bring some of your dye, I will dye my mustache to be the same color as your hair. Well, she brought me a bottle.
And it's green.
And now I have to decide whether I'm brave enough to do this, because when it goes in, it does not come out. It will be permanent. So I'm rethinking this, Brittany. So. But thank you very much.
Councilman Perrello.
Thank you very much.
Enough for your hair, too.
No. I'm not that courageous, to be honest. As Councilmember Turan mentioned, I did attend the South Bank Neighborhood Council meeting, attended the Channel Islands Neighborhood Council meeting. Mayor Pro Tem was in attendance. Very good meeting, and they brought out an opportunity for the residents in the city of Oxnard. On Monday, they transplanted 5,000 white sea bass into the Ventura County White Sea Bass Enhancement Facility. It's by Cisco's Landing in the harbor. Tomorrow at 11:15, they will put another 5,000 sea bass, and it's open to the public. It's free. You just park, get out, look, you get to see something. It's a very big deal. 10,000 fingerling fish. They will grow up, they're fed, and they'll grow up to a certain size. They'll be released in March. I did also attend the River Park meeting. Tremendous meeting. They had one of the proponents for the issues in River Park, and they had our city manager. It was very well attended and very well done. And I believe that these neighborhood council meetings set an example for other neighborhood councils. There's opportunities to get information. As the gentleman that works for the city of Oxnard, I think I understood him say he didn't realize that he could come up and speak. This microphone's open to any member of the public, whether you live in Thousand Oaks or you live in Oxnard or you live in Timbuktu, whether you're a resident, a citizen, or not. It's public, 3 minutes. The other thing, I attended the Fox Canyon groundwater meeting and the VRSD sanitation, Ventura Regional Sanitation District. They had a tour of the Tolan landfill. One of the issues that has happened at the Tolan landfill, the city of Oxnard now takes their trash to CME, Waste Management. But one of the issues that came up with Tolan landfill, they're going to excavate a part of the landfill because there was an assumption that there was a tremendous amount of extra space. In the process of doing it, they found out that there had been commingling of garbage in that area, so when they dug it up, they started digging up garbage. Unbeknownst to the management, as they stated, that this was there. They also found some other things. The parts that bother me as a council member is when things like that happen and it's not totally clear, just for the gentlemen that didn't know they could attend council meetings. You can put in a request for public information. That's a law. Federal's Freedom of Information, state, request for public information. I put in a request because at one time I was the chair of the Ventura Regional Sanitation District, and there were statements made that 60 feet high beams were driven into the ground. I don't ever remember that coming before the board when I was on that board. And so I've asked for that information. I've yet to get it, but the outcome of it is the landfill has been dug up. They took what dirt they could. They have to line a certain spot, not reline. And then they're going to put the commingled garbage and dirt back into it, expanding the useful life of the landfill by 13 years. There was an expectation there would be a lot more years, but that's an update on the Ventura Regional Sanitation District. Something very similar to sometimes the waste department in the city of Oxnard, whether it's solid waste or liquid waste. The public doesn't pay enough attention. There's a lot of interesting things there, and I wanted to share that. I also wanted to share something that very near and dear to my heart, especially at the present time. We had Community Action give a presentation about all the good deeds that they do for this city. And it's always bothered me when questions are asked, how do we verify the people that receive these deeds? Because the people that receive these deeds are in need. And there's actually more need than there are resources to take care of everything in this city. But when we find somebody that is receiving something that they're not entitled to, I hope that we pursue the actions against those individuals to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Valenzuela.
Yes, just first off, I want to say go Dodgers. I know my neighborhood has been very excited the past couple of weeks, so that's very noticeable in our community of Oxnard. Second thing I wanted to state was to the wastewater operating engineers. Thank you very much for coming and discussing your concerns. I'm more than happy to meet with any of you. My email's on the website, arthur.valenzuela@oxnard.org. Happy to hear your concerns, just like I meet with any other folks from 721, Oxnard Peace Officers Association, or the Firefighters Union. So happy to meet with you. Feel free to reach out and email me. I can't make any promises, but I'm happy to hear your concerns and go on from there. On October 17th, I was able to attend the VC Regional Housing Consolidated Plan at the South Oxnard Center. October 28th, I was able to, yesterday, I was able to join in on an Ormond Beach hearing, getting some updates on some of the walking some of the updates that will take place along Ormond Beach to make it more walkable and more open to the community. There will be 2 meetings on Wednesday, November 13th. The first one will be virtual on Zoom from 1:30 to 3 p.m. And the second one will be in person that same evening from 6 to 8 p.m. at the South Oxnard Center. And then tomorrow at 6 p.m., there will be a Cal Giesler neighborhood meeting at Elm School. And I guess this is going to be a request for an information item. So I was reached out to by a resident from Blackstock North. I guess there was an incident over a week ago regarding where officers had to chase down an individual and they found him underneath the bed, and they were concerned about how come their grandparents or parents lived along the street where this person was found, but they were not informed of this except through the Ventura County Star. And I guess my request is if we can get an information item for me and the council members and the public on how these small incidents are communicated to nearby to the nearby community. I think that is something that folks are not fully aware of. I know this isn't a natural disaster like an earthquake or a tidal wave hitting Oxnard, but I think there are some concerns when residents are unaware of what's going on within their own streets or neighborhoods for a future agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you, and I also want to thank all the speakers that came tonight to speak. As was mentioned by a council member, anybody wants to speak, this is your opportunity to share with us your concerns and so forth, so I appreciate that. Also want to say, please vote. Vote, vote, vote. This is really important. This is a presidential election, and this is probably one of the most important presidential elections we've ever had. So please vote, vote, vote. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor, for indulging me. I see the police chief sit up for a minute. Chief, is it possible to address if there is an opportunity for the residents to get on an email list if there's some activity going on? Not confidential stuff, but when there's a report. And I want to make sure the residents are aware of that. There are a tremendous amount of things at our police department. The house with the drugs and the guns and all that, that's a big deal. Is there an opportunity for residents to get on that list if they simply turn in an email or something?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There are a couple of different ways, or actually several different ways to do this. We may have expressed this in the past, but we will continue to reiterate it from time to time. One of the best ways is you don't actually need to be on a list. You can sign up for Facebook. Oxnard PD page has tens of thousands of followers, and when items of community safety come up such as this, you'll see when we have major traffic collisions or things like that, we'll send out an advisory, and we may not speak to specifically what exactly is occurring there, but at least let residents know that there's something going on there. Nextdoor.com is another way. We have several thousand people on that. We also have an Instagram and an X, formerly known as Twitter, account. For the more serious notifications, what we will do is we will send out to the media. We have a very quick news release that we will send out, but it is entirely up to them if they decide to print it. We also have, there's a mass notification system that you can get through VC Alert that people can sign up. If you look at VC Alert, there's a way to get signed up on that program for major emergencies. And that should be about it. There may be some more. And if anybody ever has a question, they're always free to call our watch commander at area code 805-385-7746 if they need an immediate answer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that information, I think, is tremendously useful to the residents here. And maybe the city management and our information technology, we can have that on our, on a sheet, boom, information sheet, along with where people can call if there's a stray cat or a dump tire or some garbage or something like that. This is, public safety's a big deal. And the perception for the public to understand, there's a lot of good men and women looking out for your backside that we're unaware of. And sometimes it does, and to the credit of Councilman Valenzuela, sometimes it only makes the VC star. There's an old statement when I first got involved in this stuff. If it's blood and guts, Oxnard makes a newspaper. There's a hell of a lot of good things that happen in the city besides that. But the important public safety, I think that information to be shared benefits everyone.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Mayor. Thank you, Chief.
Generally, in question to add, the particular incident involved a school lockdown. And so we do that as a precautionary measure whenever there's something going on in the area. And the schools also have their own notification systems, which they send out to a large number of family members for the students as well. So.
And Chief, your department continues good work for the community.
Thank you.
And the health and safety is really important. In fact, one of my neighbors this morning had an emergency, and the first people that were there were our police officers. So thank you again,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. So our next item is a review of the consent items. We have 1 to 9 items. Oh, and also, by the way, Councilman Madrigal just joined us. He was at school. Thank you. So anyway, we have 1 to 9 items. Council members, any particular items you want to, if not, we're looking for a motion. Oh, any speakers on this item to start off with?
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Councilor Giral?
I'll move to accept the consent calendar.
Move to accept.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Thank you, Mayor.
Tehran and Valenzuela.
Councilmember Perello?
Yes.
Councilmember Tehran?
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald?
Aye.
Mayor Zaragoza?
Aye.
Councilmember Madrigal?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. And Mayor, for the record, Councilmember Madrigal has joined the meeting as of 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is M2. This is Public Works. This is Agreement 325-00217 with M&S Engineers Incorporated for the construction management services of the Rice Avenue 5th Street State Route 34 Grade Separation Project, specification PW 1847. Recommendation that the City Council approve and authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with M&S Engineering Incorporated for the amount of $12,298,039.51 with a term from October 29, 24 to October 29, 2029 for the construction management services for the Rice Avenue 5th Street Route 34 Grade Separation Project, specification number PW 18-47. This did not originate in committee. This is a capital improvement project specifically listed in the Capital Improvement Project Program budget, which was previously approved by the City Council. And there was a Measure M presentation on this item, and we do have Michael Wolf, our Public Works Director, for any questions, items on this. And any speakers on this item?
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Council members, as you know, we had M1 and our Jackie Irwin, our assembly person, was here, so this is a continuation of that item. Any questions on this particular item, or? So we need a motion.
Second.
Moved by Mayor Pro Tem, second by Councilmember Perrello. Roll call.
Councilmember Madrigal.
Aye.
Councilmember Perrello.
Yes.
Councilmember Turan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald.
Aye.
Mayor Zaragoza.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Michael. Our next item, item 3, this is Public Works Department, subject, Seventh Amendment to the Agreement A8094 with HDR Incorporated for the Rice Avenue, Fifth Street, Route 34 Grade Separation Project, specification, number PW-47. Recommendation that the City Council approve and authorize the mayor to execute a Seventh Amendment to HDR Incorporated for the amount of $1,938,398.28 for the new not-to-exceed contract value of $11,816,253.53 to perform engineering design support during the construction for the Rice Avenue, Fifth Street, Route 134 Grade Separation Project, specification number PW 18-47. This did not originate in committee because it's an improvement project, the capital improvement project listed in the city capital improvement budget program, which was previously approved by the city council. And there's a pre-recorded item per Measure M. We do have our Public Works Director, Michael Wolford, in additional questions on this item. Any speakers on this item?
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Mr. Mayor, if I can add something just for the record. Good evening, Michael Wolf, Director of Public Works. Through the City Clerk's office, thank you, Rose, we've submitted a minor upgrade or update to this item. After the posting of the agenda, we made some minor grammatical changes to the amendment. And so if this item is approved tonight, we would request that the motion be made with these changes in mind.
With that amendment to correct the grammatical parts, okay.
Thank you.
Motion? No, none at all.
I move the recommended action with the grammatical amendments.
First Valenzuela, second by Mayor Pro Tem. Roll call.
Councilmember Madrigal.
Aye.
Councilmember Perrello.
Yes.
Councilmember Turan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald.
Aye.
Mayor Zaragoza.
Aye.
Motion carries as amended, 6-0.
Thank you, Michael. Item 4, D4, Community Development Department, subject Planning and Zoning Permit number 24-600-2, pre-application review at the Harrison Avenue Apartment Project located at 145 Harrison Avenue. Recommendation the City Council review and provide preliminary comments on the pre-application general plan amendment, zone change, special use permit, density bonus, lot merger to allow for the construction of 100 units, all affordable apartment projects. This is a pre-recorded item under Measure M, and we do have Jeff Pangeli, our planning person, if we need any additional information. Any speakers on this item?
Mayor Zaragoza, there is Brad Dickerson on this item.
There's none?
Brad Dickerson is online.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay, who do we have? Somebody's called in. Okay.
Brad, can you press *6 to unmute, and then you have 3 minutes.
Yes, if you can hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, if I can.
Oh, great.
Just really quickly.
Great.
So
hold on. Go ahead.
Sorry, Mayor, council members. Brad is actually the applicant on this one, so he's going to give a brief discussion on the project coming before you.
If we need any information.
Would like to
Oh, he'll
give a
make
brief presentation.
Brief presentation, okay, go ahead. What's his name again?
Brad.
Okay, Brian.
Dixon.
Brian, you want to make no speakers on this item then?
Mayor Zaragoza, there's no speakers.
Okay, Brian, so you'd like to make your presentation first or the young lady?
No, I should probably make it after the planner
Okay.
presents from, if possible.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Zaragoza and council members.
Move your speaker.
I'm sorry?
Thank you. Mike, next.
Is that better?
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Zaragoza and council members. My name is Terry Avakian, and the project before you today is the Harrison Apartments pre-application project, which proposes 100 affordable apartment units and a rezone. This is not a formal application. The project is located at 155 Harrison Avenue in the La Colonia neighborhood and is currently vacant. The rezone would revise the zoning of the 3 westerly parcels from limited manufacturing to general commercial planned development, affordable housing discretionary, allowing the project to utilize all 5 of the lots for residential purposes, which is an allowed use. The general plan would also need to change from industrial limited to commercial general. Since the posting of my presentation, the applicant has changed the plans just very slightly. At this time, the project is very conceptual. Brad Dickinson is the applicant and is here to give a presentation, and I'm also available for questions. Thank you.
Okay. So Brad would be the next person speaking. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm here basically just to answer any questions. This is an issue where there are a thin sliver of a parcel that runs along the railroad tracks that was not included in the rezoning of the main parcel. And even though our conceptual project is set quite far back from the tracks, we would like to use this narrow, which you can see at the bottom of the screen, that narrow strip for parking. We like to provide at least 1-to-1 parking. Without that, we would have to make a smaller project, or the people who live in the project would be forced to park out on in the streets. There's also a small parcel you can see there on the left. The feedback we received from the city is that that wouldn't be adequate for parking. So we would turn that into open space, something like a dog park. So the rezoning, again, is only for those 3 parcels, those 3 narrow parcels below the red line, right, that run along the tracks. And unfortunately, we have to go through an entire rezone general plan amendment just to be able to park there. I wish there was some way to avoid that, but.
Okay, so Joe, do we have to rezone the completely? What's our next step on that? If to allow those parkings?
So yes, Mayor Pro Tem and council members, in order for them to use the entire site for residential purposes, the entire site has to be zoned for residential. And unfortunately, right now, those 3 parcels that are there along the railroad tracks are currently zoned industrial, so they do not currently allow for housing. So they could build the project on the this portion of the site, but they would not be able to use this area for the residential purposes. So really, in order to allow for more efficient use of those properties, because it would be very difficult to use those properties for another standalone use, the rezone is required.
But Joe, under the governor's, I can't remember the number, we We don't have to provide parking, correct?
So, Mayor, yes, that is correct. Under one of the state laws that were passed, AB 2097, because it's within half mile of the Oxnard Transit Center, they're not technically required to provide any on-site parking. However, as the applicant mentioned, they are trying to provide at least 1-for-1, so 100 units, 100 parking spaces.
So, but we are going to have parking for 1 per 1?
That is what they are currently proposing. However, I would want to note that this is just the preliminary plan, so this will have to go through the entitlement process. So there may be changes that may occur as it goes through the public review process.
From my understanding, this is in addition to what they're asking for? Do we have parking for, if we didn't have any of that, and we don't allow that, do they still have parking?
Yes, so they would
No?
have the parking that is located on
okay.
the larger parcel there. However, they just would not have the amount of parking that they're hoping to have.
Okay, gotcha, okay. Councilmember Tron.
Thank you. Just a question I have with the visual we have on the screen here. The existing parcel that's there on the northeast portion, I was looking, and I believe that's a car business or a smog shop, something along those lines. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's a church.
Are you referring to this area or the part that's part of the project?
Well, if you move the cursor up to the east, I guess it is, where we have all these cars parked here. Is that for current use? What's the current situation for their neighbor or potential neighbor there?
And so, Councilmember Tron, there is a automotive place, I believe, here. And then there are some other businesses there. So a lot of these cars are associated with the existing businesses that are there.
Okay, and it's not necessary that those cars are there overnight or on weekends. I'm just wondering about the density of the existing use if we're looking at adding some residential and doing a zone change there.
So, Councilmember Tron, some of those cars may be there over the weekends because it is a auto repair place. So some of those vehicles are just kind of there as they go through their repairs. The other ones on the corners, I'm not 100% sure what those businesses are, but this one here is the auto repair business. So that's kind of why these cars are stacked out there.
Okay, and I guess my next follow-up question to that is if the request tonight is the zone change for everything below that red line, is there also change happening to the extra space that's right there to the west of the properties we were just talking about, that little spot there? Yes, that portion.
Councilmember Tron, yes, that is also included as part of the request. And what is before the council tonight is just an opportunity to provide comments and feedback and direction to the applicant as they have to go through the entitlement process. So this would, based on this location, require a development design review permit, as well as the zone change and general plan amendment. It would need to go through the community workshop process. There would be a public hearing. It eventually would come back to city council. But yes, that smaller portion there is also part of this request.
Thank you. So at least for folks watching this now, they do know that the existing neighbors there and on the other side, on the east side of Harrison, will be notified of this, and there will be a public hearing for it, correct?
Yes, so there'd be both the community workshop as well as the planning commission meeting, as well as the city council.
Okay, and my last question, the little parcel there, the one that says proposed permeable surface or open space, if we're looking at something open space, whether it's turf or decomposed granite or something that would lend itself to recreation, is that going to be compatible with the automotive use that's happening immediately next door to that? Would we foresee any issues with that, with hazardous chemicals, oil, diesel, that kind of thing that might come from that type of a use?
So Councilmember Tron, I can't speak to all of what's currently going on there, but the automotive use is primarily focused to the front. So the back area there, or that open space area, basically runs along the back of that building. So most of the kind of automotive type functions are happening on the front side of the building and inside the building. So that's where most of that is, as opposed to being in that back area. This entire back area would essentially be for that open space.
Okay. I'm all for more open space, for sure, whenever we get a chance to discuss it. But I do want to be mindful of nearby uses as well and how that may affect it, whether it be positively or negatively. So just throwing that out there as well as a consideration item. Those are all my questions. Thank you, Mr. Pearson. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Madrigal, and then we'll go to Mayor Pro Tem after that. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. This lot has been empty for years, and I do know that actually there's 3 different auto body shops or smog shops right next door, which Councilmember Tehran was asking. There's 3 different shops, and I know that open space lot right there in the corner is actually used for parking for those auto shops as we speak right now throughout the day. But bringing this, I think it's much needed. It does help out with neighbors who live across the street. It makes this, the street more viable and makes it for a better neighborhood. I truly do feel housing there will bring more of a community sense, specifically to that street. I do feel that, it is a busy street, I would say 6 a.m. to about 6 p.m. And then after about 6 p.m., it kind of, gets a little dark. It doesn't help the neighbors, like I said, across the street.
On Harrison?
On Harrison, yeah, on Harrison Street.
Yeah.
So I do feel that bringing in additional housing does help out, the neighborhood at large, specifically Harrison as a street. And, maybe in the future we could probably do the other side of Harrison as well. It is much needed and, kind of helps clean up the neighborhood. So I know there might be obstacles along the way and has to go through all the hoops, but hopefully long-term this does bring something to the neighborhood. And I know that I believe it's a smog shop on the corner over there. They did just put up a mural up there, so that's something for maybe the new neighbors to kind of see what kind of goes there. So maybe in the future, hopefully it'll go through. So thank you.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking at the staff report, it talks about 100 all affordable units. And looking at the map, maybe 35 or 40 units. So I'm taking a guess this might be a multi-story project. Would that be, do we know if that's the direction it's going to go or?
So Mayor Pro Tem McDonald, yes, that is correct. As of right now, they are proposing, I believe, four stories, yes.
Oh, 4 stories.
We did receive a written communication today asking that if it was more than one level, that the first level be protected for ADA access, especially for people with more severe handicaps than others potentially. So I think that would be a good approach. Because I don't know if they're anticipating putting elevators into this building or if it's all going to be stairwells or.
Mayor Pro Tem, I believe after 3 stories, they're required to put in elevators. Yeah.
They're required after 3 stories? Jeff?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's ask the developer what they're proposing.
Okay. Brad?
Yes.
3 stories?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So it would be, the proposal right now, the concept is 4 stories with elevators. Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, thank you. That was my main concern was, trying to live within the spirit of the request from the disabled community, that we make accommodations for ADA people, that they're able to not only have an affordable place to live, but they're able to access it. So thank you very much.
Joe, I know that we need that affordable housing, but I think one of the questions that Councilman Madrigal mentioned, have we had numerous and many or some concerns from the folks on Harrison Avenue for parking, from the residents across the street there?
So, Mayor Zaragoza, at this point, the project has not been presented to the community. So this is just again, opportunity for the council to kind of weigh in on this project. But during the process, they will be notified,
gotcha.
again, during the community workshop.
We're not
for
there
all the
yet.
hearings, yeah.
We're not, okay, thank you. Councilman Perrello?
Thank you very much for the presentation. I appreciate the developer letting us know the multiple stories and the elevators. I do have a couple of questions. We're talking about 1 for 1, and as Mayor Pro Tem pointed out, about 100 car spaces, but if it looks like in your staff report on page 843, it shows 117. Are there 117 parking spaces or 100?
So the original proposal did have, or the site plan that they originally submitted did have the 117. But then as a result of the changes that the applicant just noted, where they had those parking areas on that little corner piece, so removing those spaces, that's where they end up losing some additional spaces there. But ultimately, as the applicant mentioned, and he can speak to this more, but it sounds like they're trying to get to that 1 for 1.
Okay. And I did give a heads up to Mr. Pengelly that I would be asking a pretty severe, strong question here. In the discussion on the item, under the paragraph discussion title, the very last sentence, it says, however, the specific details of the project and each request may change as the project is processed through the entitlement review process. I have a couple of specific questions with regard to that. It says it's 100% affordable development. Could the 100% affordable development be one of the things that can change?
So, Councilmember Perrello, yes. Ultimately, the city has the 10% inclusionary requirement, so that is what the city can mandate. As of right now, the applicant is saying that they're going to go with a 100% affordable project, but they could change that as they go through the entitlement process. They haven't indicated that that is the case, but they could change that. They may also affect, though, the densities that they can build, as well as the other reductions that they can make in terms of setbacks and open space areas and those types of things. So again, if they do reduce the amount of affordability, it may impact other aspects of the project.
Okay, thank you. And with respect to the question the developer answered, 4 stories, and I think the Mayor Pro Tem asked if there was an elevator, and he said yes. And I know Mr. Pengelly came up. What are the rules in the city of Oxnard when an elevator is required and when not? Because if it is potentially, that could also change. I'm of the opinion that a mother, and I'm not a mother, and I had one, but I don't, if I'm carrying up a kid in bags, I don't want to carry him up 4 stories. I want to have an elevator. Is that something that would be set in the project?
Thank you, Councilmember Perrello. Jeff Pengelly. My recollection from my building code experience is 4 stories for residential housing is when you need an elevator. I'm about 85% sure on that. But even if it's not, if they drop it to 3 stories for whatever reason, going back to Mayor Pro Tem's question, all ground floor units would be accessible, but 4 stories is when an elevator is required. I'll reconfirm that and make sure that you're aware if that's not correct.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I agree with Mayor Pro Tem. The bottom floor should be units that if somebody has a handicap and is of needs of that there are things like that on the first floor. Getting back to another question that I have, it addresses the fact that it's near a railroad track. Are there extra soundproofing processes? Because I know that in the South Bank neighborhood, when it was built in the 90s, there was sound retaining wall and there's double pane windows. In the wagon wheel area that's just been done, there was walls and sound, the appropriate word I think is attentions or attenuations, and I'm not saying it right. And in West Village, I know there was a berm put in and special windows for soundproofing. Will that also be done with this, with the plan it being affordable? I don't want it to be a cheap thing missing what everyone else should be entitled to.
So, Councilmember Perrello, some of the city's requirements does require that there's a standard for interior noise levels. I believe it's 45 decibels. And then for exterior, I believe it's 65. So this project would have to comply with that. They would be required to prepare a noise study and show that the units are within the acceptable noise standards, being that that's kind of falls into the health and safety category. That's one of those that they wouldn't be able to waive under like a density bonus concession or something like that. So they would have to comply with those standards.
Thank you for that. And my last question. With it being 100% affordable as it's planned right now, and as the staff report indicates, who checks that the people that are in there actually qualify? Who verifies that? How is that done?
So Councilmember Perrello, as part of the entitlement process, we will place conditions on the project that they comply with the affordability levels that they indicate or are required under the city ordinance or under state law. They are required to enter into an affordability agreement with the city as part of that. And then our housing department is responsible for managing that agreement.
Okay, as I understand it, city ordinance and state law, and then the housing authority is responsible for making sure that's accurate? Do we have someone here from the housing authority can tell me how often they verify that?
No, I do not believe anybody here is.
No, but we can bring that information back at a future meeting.
For me personally, that's extremely important because I'm finding that in my gut, something tells me that there's abuses in this. And before I get off my soapbox here, one more thing. On this affordable price, do we have an indication of what the affordable cost will be? There's a tremendous feeling in the city of Oxnard that there's a tremendous need for affordable housing. And when affordable housing goes in, and then the price tag goes in on the affordable housing, a tremendous amount of residents throughout the city of Oxnard, northeast, west, south, are going, holy cow, you call that affordable? Do we have an idea of what that price will be for these affordable units?
So Councilmember Perrello, at this point, we do not know what the actual rates will be. However, as part of that affordable housing agreement and as part of the work that the applicant would do with the housing department would be to establish what those rates would be for those units that are required to be affordable.
Okay, I appreciate your answer and your frankness. Back to my thing about the verification. If we have ordinance and state laws with respect to affordability, and we have, as has been said, possibly now a couple of years ago, several hundred people waiting on a list to get into some of these units and to even apply, and we find that people are in these units that are not legally entitled to be in these units, housing didn't show up. Maybe the city attorney can address it. What do we do when we find people in these situations?
So, Councilmember Perrello, I'm not aware of it.
Well, again, this goes back to the agreements that are put in place through the entitlement process, so which is not before you tonight. But if this development goes forward through those entitlements, there would be agreements put in place. And if it's verified that they're not being complied with, then we would look to those agreements for enforcement provisions.
And thank you very much. And enforcement positions would be more than just, sorry, you don't qualify. There'd be some sanction, some action taken. And I'm not asking specifically, but I want to be able to go to bed at night and sleep, that if I approve and waive on something affordable, that I don't wake up in 2 weeks and find out somebody has abused the hell out of this stuff and several hundred families are waiting to move into something. And I'm not saying you, city manager, but I just want to make sure that the city of Oxnard is running a straight-up game, and people that are found not to be running a straight-up game pay the full price, whatever that price is. And if it's not strong enough, I want to work to make it stronger. And I appreciate the comments, and this is not pointed at anybody here, but I am expecting those answers from the Housing Authority. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe and Jeff, we have 100 units, 100 cars, and normally those families have children later on, and see, there's always somebody wants another car and so forth. Let's assume that we have an additional car per unit. Where are we going to park those other 100 cars?
Eric Zaragoza, if there were additional cars, they would be potentially parking on the street in the adjacent areas. Again, based on the location, they're not required to have any parking. However, they are trying to provide, and I would speak to or hand it over to Brad to see if he can speak to, on these type of developments that he's seen elsewhere, if parking has been an issue or if they find that the 1-for-1 is actually sufficient.
And the reason I'm asking that is because, the project that we have over in Victoria Avenue and Gonzales, those units came in, at the time they were sold, they were the young families, and now they have 2 or 3 cars per family, and now they're parking along Victoria all the way to Gonzales Road and so forth. So that's something that I think we need to look at. So Brad, do you have any thing that you might want to add to that?
I can say that in general, with the income levels that we're targeting here, which, by the way, this would be a tax credit project. So the incomes would range from 30% AMI up to 80% AMI.
What's MI's right now, about 90,000 or what?
Yeah, AMI about 100% is about 90, right?
Yeah.
So we, for a while there, we were building projects that were parked at maybe 0.5, so half a space per unit, and it just was not adequate. So we've revised our thinking, and the 1-to-1 seems to work pretty well. So
I think the whole idea here is because it's close to the multi-transportation center, is that they're going to take the bus. Potentially, that's the idea, but
the bus or the train.
But I'm not sure, because we're going to have additional cars there, and I think Councilman Madrigal alluded to that, if I'm not mistaken, because anyway, just something to think about. Okay, council members, any other questions on this item?
I think the Mayor Pro Tem's thing about the lower floor and the people.
The ADA.
That's significant to you.
The ADA, right. Okay, so this is basically information for the pre-app application for providing and city council review and so forth, so we'll go ahead. Any additional items in this? No additional speakers on this item.
Mayor Zaragoza, that's correct. No speakers.
So then, Joe, thank you, and Jeff, we'll continue to our next item. Thank you. Okay, our last item is Community Development Department, grant of easement of Southern California Edison on a portion of city-owned property located at 1101 Viewpoint Drive. Recommendation to the City Council, 1, find that the project is exempt from the environmental review pursuant to the Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, Guidelines Section 15061, B3, and to grant an easement to Southern California Edison, SCE, consistent with Exhibit A and Exhibit B, and for the purpose of stated as such. 3, authorize the mayor to sign a grant easement. And again, this is what there was a pre-recorded item, presentation per Measure M, and we do have Jeff or Joe or staff. Any questions? Go ahead. Any additional information you might want to give us?
I don't have anything to add, Mayor Pro Tem, council members, unless you'd like me to introduce the project briefly or anything else.
Give us 25 words or less, and then.
I'm Daniel Houck, Associate Planner with the Planning Division.
Give us a little bit more information, Daniel.
Okay, so what's before you is a grant of easement. There's a small area on the city-owned parcel that SCE or Southern Cal Edison would like to acquire from the city for the replacement of electrical equipment. They do have electrical equipment there now that's in ground. There is not an easement there currently, but they would like to have an easement there to basically protect their electrical equipment.
And repairs and so forth, et cetera. Okay. Okay, Councilman Perrello, you have a question? Oh, Daniel.
Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. Welcome aboard. I wondered who you were. It was nice to hear what your name was. There was a recent planning commission meeting, and it had to do with removing some sand. All of a sudden, the coastal commission issue came up, and it blew the whole thing out of proportion, in my opinion. I don't see any mention of the coastal commission. Are we sure we don't need any coastal commission approval on this? And I ask that because it's kind of close to the ocean, but it's near part of the harbor. It's near the Edison Canal, and those are all wet. And I just want to make sure the coastal commission or some residents don't come in here and say, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. That's the only reason I'm asking the question, and I hope you can address it.
It is zoned coastal and under the LCP, the local coastal program, but I'll defer to Joe Pearson to expand on that.
Thank you.
But can I, real quick, so the units are already there, right? Well, all we need is an easement to get into it and work with it. Is that correct?
Mayor Zaragoza, yes, the equipment is already there. They're essentially just asking for a easement to kind of cover where that equipment is. There just wasn't an easement granted to them when the equipment was originally constructed, when the Sea Bridge development was constructed. So this is kind of just going back and granting that easement there. And then.
So my apologies. I know that the Councilman went for now. Do we have to still go to the Coastal Commission?
So Councilman Perello, with regards to this project, it is within the coastal zone, as Mr. Houck mentioned. However, the nature of the project does not require a separate permit from the Coastal Commission. This is essentially just granting an easement, so that process is not a project under the Coastal Act, so it doesn't require a coastal development permit, so coastal doesn't need to review or approve this. The other project, that was within a different area of the coastal zone, so that was what we refer to as the appeals jurisdiction, so there is more oversight from coastal in that location. Okay. This is not within that area, so this does not require separate coastal approval.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Mayor, I'd like to just add one additional point on that. The easement area, there's some existing equipment there now. It's subsurface equipment. You can see the top of the vault from if you were to look at the site today. However, the easement is a little bit larger because some of the newer equipment they have takes up more space. There will be an above ground cabinet. The dimensions and all that are very finely specified on the easement. And I do want to add that this is not a superior rights easement. So this is just a standard run-of-the-mill easement that Edison needs to access their equipment. It's a little bit larger than the current equipment footprint, but most of the equipment will be underground, but now there will be an above ground cabinet.
Thank you, Jeff. Any additional questions? If not, we need a motion. Motion by Perello.
Second.
Excuse me, Mayor Zaragoza.
Any speakers?
There are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Second, Oscar Madrigal. Second by Madrigal. Roll call.
Councilmember Madrigal.
Aye.
Councilmember Perello.
Yes.
Councilmember Turan.
Yes.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald.
Aye.
Mayor Zaragoza.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0.
Okay, so that's our last one. So we are adjourned until what? What date? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Next month. I think it's the 19th. Okay. So we